Simply raising more than $650 billion in new taxes at a time when our national employment rate stagnates near double digits is a really, really bad idea. Now let us take a look at the claims that despite more than $650 billion in new taxes in this bill, this big government bill will not raise taxes for Americans making less than $200,000 a year, a pledge that President Obama repeatedly mentioned both as a candidate and then as our president. Well, the Democratic chairman of the Finance Committee, and I commend him for his honesty, in his floor remarks on March 23, 2010, stated, quote, "One other point that I think is very important to make is that it is true that in certain cases the taxes will go up for some Americans who might be making less than $200,000. We have known all along that this pledge is an illusion that will slowly but continuously disappear over time. A recent analysis by former Congressional Budget Office Director Douglas Holtz-Eakin, based on data provided by the Joint Committee on Taxation, revealed some startling facts on the distributional impact of the Senate-passed bill. Let me just share some of these findings with you. Only 7% of Americans would qualify for the new government subsidy to help them pay for mandatory health insurance. 93% of all Americans will not be eligible for a tax benefit under this bill. 25% of Americans earning less than $200,000 a year would see their taxes rise. 25%. So what does all this mean? For every one family that receives the government subsidy, 3 middle-class families will pay higher taxes. Simply put, we will continue our march towards the Europeanization of America as fewer and fewer Americans continue to bear the burden of supporting the needs of a growing majority. By the way, the figures I just discussed do not take into account all the tax increases in this bill signed by the President yesterday, including hundreds of billions of dollars in new taxes on employers who do not provide coverage to insurance premiums, prescription drugs, and medical devices. Representatives from both the Congressional Budget Office and the Joint Committee on Taxation testified before the Finance Committee that these taxes will be passed on to the consumers. So even though the bill tries to hide these taxes as fees, average Americans who purchase health plans, use prescription drugs, and buy medical devices will end up footing the bill. Every American knows that there is no such thing as a free lunch in this town.